What's up, internet? Welcome back once more to some Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and today we're going to be looking at the buff that a special blade has received. This is Pandoria's buff, due to the fact that we now have a new ability for the upgraded Affinity Chart for New Game Plus, and because of this buff, now Pandoria can easily be considered, under these circumstances, the most powerful blade in existence. She is an absolute powerhouse thanks to this new ability, but before I actually get into the build in question, I just want to give some credit to where it's due. The build that you're about to watch is borrowed from Enel. Enel made a fantastic video outlining the build that we're going to be using for this video. So thanks very much, man. I will leave a link to the video in the description right now. Please give that video a look before you finish this one. So the actual build in question, or the ability in question, is to unleash Shining Justice. Now this is really cool because in a similar way that you have to sort of hold R, then press a button to summon the ascended form of a blade, this time around, instead of Mithra, it's going to be Pandoria. Once you get the Eye of Shining Justice glowing, you're going to have all of your abilities just cranked to the limit. What's going to happen here is that we're going to have all your attack speeds be increased, we're going to have all the cooldowns shortened, and your damage is going to be sky high. You will be hitting 5-digit numbers all the time, and sometimes 6-digit numbers whenever you get a crit. It's really insane stuff. So the actual builds that we're going to be using right now, it is going to be the optical headbands, Avant-Garde Metal, and high-tech eye patches. Obviously, if you keep fighting against the enemies that drop these, you will get the orange version, and they give the best effects. The small percentage might seem like not much of a difference, but believe me, it really does, especially when you're considering how much high damage you can achieve with just a 2% difference. So the first one is the optical headbands. Obviously, this increases the amount of critical damage that you do whenever you do crit, and it also stacks with the Bigger Bang passive with the Tachyon chip, so keep that in mind. You can get these from the Ruffian Bunnets that are level 69 to 73. It's right by the Traveler's Resting Tree in Gormott by the water. The second one is the Avant-Garde Metal. This is the typical crit heal accessory. This one is quite nice, and you will want to use this just to increase your survivability. You spend more time killing things and less time running away or trying to heal yourself. This drops from Haywire Radcliffe at the World Tree. He is a unique enemy, you can't miss him. As well, the final one is the high-tech eye patch. This is incredibly powerful on Zeke. So what's going to happen here is that whenever you cancel out your abilities, you will get a substantial boost to your damage. And this particular one is from the Vagrant Balder. This is the unique enemy that you find in Mor Ardane's upper level area, top right corner of the map in the Brionac occupied zone. So the team setup that we're using right now, I am currently using on Zeke 2 common blades with stat modifiers. One of them has the HP modifier of 23%, and the other one has a strength modifier of 24%. And most of the time, whenever you see me fighting, I'm going to be essentially just cancelling all of my, dynamic spark swords the majority of the time, and occasionally stratospheric thunder. These are the main 2 abilities we want to be using. Make sure you're always cancelling them, obviously, and make sure that you also save up your level 4 combo, which is a great safety cooldown. Not to mention that on my team, I am going to be running, I don't really need much support, but it is very useful to have Dagas on the team. For those of you guys that don't know, Dagas' Kaiser Zone gives you an additional 120% damage on your attacks or for all your party when you have max affinity. Now, let's take a quick look at the Aux cores. Now, depending on what kind of enemy you're fighting, one of these will change. You'll either do Titan Hunter or Machine Hunter, depending on what we're doing. So for Artifice Ophion, he's a machine, so you want to give him Machine Hunter, and Tyranitar Kuradil, Ice Cube Man, is going to be needing the Titan Hunter ability. As well, for the other 2 cores, it's pretty straightforward. You want to have Affinity Max Attack, as well as Outdoor Attack. We are stacking absurd amounts of damage, and you're going to be seeing this quite often. You'll notice that in these fights, we are quite reliant on whatever crit heal damage we can. Unfortunately, crit chances are a little bit low, but when you do hit them, we can hit for about as high as 1600,000. It's really potent stuff, and for the most part, you will just be attacking from the front, drawing all the aggro anyway, so you just have to make sure that you get the bonus damage from the dynamic spark sword. Really fun stuff, and again, Stratospheric Thunder is there. Because of how fast the cooldowns are for this particular fight, you will be saving up your level 4 combos, sorry, not level 4, level 3 and then of course you do have to stop attacking in order to get the level 4. It does cut down on your DPS, but the best way, the most time efficient way to do this is to actually stop to do on auto attack before cancelling the auto attack with a dynamic spark sword, and then just keep doing that until you have the level 4. Then it's back to alternating between dynamic spark sword and stratospheric thunder. All in all, this is a really cool update. I know I've said this many times in videos before, but the new upgrades to the affinity charts are seriously a buff that we did not expect, but are the real game changers, and it's a really awesome build that we're running with today. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad that Pandoria has got a bit of a buff, because out of all the story blades, she kind of seems a little bit out of place, but now she finally has her rightful place on the throne, and I cannot wait to use some more of her against pretty much any challenge that this game throws at us. So guys, thanks for joining me on this short video, and have fun using Pandoria. Try using the build, and again, thank you Enel for bringing this to my attention. I really appreciate the videos that you make. Anyways guys, thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.